Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking to you a bit about Easterseals, which is the organization I chose to do my project on. So the mission and history of Easterseals, the mission statement is laid out there for you. Easterseals is an organization that helps and supports those with intellectual and physical disabilities. So some background on it. It was founded in 1919 by Edgar Allan. It started out initially as a National Society for Crippled Children after Allan created a hospital in his hometown of Elyria, Ohio. Upon funding and running this hospital, he realized that a lot of disabled children were kind of being hidden away from the world through hospitals at that time. So he created this organization to kind of bring awareness to that and help their situations get better, as well as give them equal opportunities to those children who don't have disabilities. They expanded their outreach to adults and veterans in 1945 after World War II, and they adopted the name Easterseals in 1967 after a series of campaigns where they would send out seals or stamps to people to have them put on letters and envelopes to raise awareness for the organization while collecting donations. Those seals and stamps were called Easterseals, so they changed their name to that in light of something that kind of helped fund their organization at the beginning. So how they model the way, they are leaders in fighting for proper legislation for those with disabilities. I'll touch on this more in the next slide, but they were instrumental in the fight for the American with Disabilities Act and still uphold and lobby for better legislation and awareness for those with disabilities in our country. They also open up their organization to adults with disabilities, veterans, seniors, and provide support to families and caregivers as well. So they broadened their scope of who they supported based on the need that they saw. They did not just keep it kind of narrow to what they originally started as, but invited a bunch of groups of people to kind of take in the resources that they had. So how they inspire a shared vision. They worked in passing and upholding the American with Disabilities Act, like I said, which promotes discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life, so in job, transportation, like you see there, and a poster from that era that they created in theaters. So it kind of was able to give a lot of Americans with disabilities a lot more opportunities and options for them in the world. And they also have amazing efforts in encouraging disability pride and making resources readily available for those who want to read up on that and kind of understand where they're at with their disability. So they challenge the process. I think from its inception, Easterseals has been challenging the process. From when Allan started it, it kind of brought light to an issue many did not want to face. Many did not want to, kind of see those children that were kind of being hidden away in the hospital. They didn't want to understand it, but he kind of brought that to light, and they still are, and they are still actively innovating new ways to connect and bring awareness to everyday life with a disability in this kind of new age. So they have an Easterseals blog that updates almost daily with different stories about living with disability and how and advice columns. And they also have a disability film challenge, which invites people, disabled and non-disabled, to kind of give their perspective and film stories about disabled life, which both of those things you don't really see in more popular media. So they're bringing that kind of out and going against the grain of what is typically we see in like news articles and things like that. So they enable others to act. They've done collaborations with organizations like Comcast, NBC Universal, and Freddie Mac, which has allowed for incredible opportunities for locations across the nation. So Comcast actually recently gave them a grant of $230,000, which to be used for technology for different locations across the nation to give the people at those locations better access to different technological advances. So one location, for example, is using it for augmented and virtual reality purposes for their autism kind of branch. So they're giving these children with autism a chance to have real life experiences through virtual reality and experience different situations through that. And then Freddie Mac is an organization that helps employees and clients of Easterseals learn about money management and home ownership and how to kind of manage the mortgage market. So it's helping those clients kind of become a bit more independent and hopefully be able to own a home or manage their money in a certain way. And they've been really helpful within COVID in managing those things as well, with kind of the uncertainty of the market and housing. So encouraging the heart, they highlight different individuals' progress through their services through social media. That picture is actually an example of something the Comcast grant was able to buy for a certain branch. So they highlight kind of what things that donors have been able to give them, as well as what their clients and individuals have been able to do through their programs and the strides they've been able to make. And they also create a spirit of community through the celebration of their values and victories. So the uses of social media for sure, as well as other things like their blog post, really create that spirit of community. People feel a strong tie to this organization because of what they're able to receive through the resources and being able to see that translated through their efforts online. So what I learned, I actually have volunteered with Easterseals before, that's why I chose it for this project, but I learned a lot more than I originally knew about the organization. So I did not know it originally only was focused on children. I thought it always kind of helped a multitude of age ranges and disabilities, but I was unaware as first children, so that was a really interesting fact. I also did not know how instrumental they were for the fight to pass ADA and how they're still working to uphold it and bring awareness to that act as well, because truthfully, I did not even know about that act until I did research for this project, and how they work with other companies to ensure those they support are receiving the best opportunities possible. I think the Comcast and Freddie Mac are two great examples of how their partners really uplift and give them the support they need to make sure that those with disabilities that they help get equal opportunities and get to kind of live out the same things that we get to see each and every day. So I just think overall it was really great to learn about an organization I already loved and to kind of dive deeper into their history and what they have done past the scope that I have seen from my short time volunteering with them.